Hello everybody, welcome to the program this week. David Johnson's going to be joining us in a few minutes. We'll be talking about some of the other games coming up on Friday night. But right now, as you can see with the brand new Social Circle football stadium, this is head coach Chad Estes and the Redskins. Chad, you've been off for 2 weeks, but that first game you had to take some positives out of it.
Well, I did. I think we're making strides. I'm real pleased in the last 2 weeks of practice. I think some of our players are starting to understand maybe what it's going to take to start writing this ship.
You were leading at halftime in the opener. That had to give you a good feeling.
Well, we got down early and we were able to come back. Unfortunately, we weren't able to finish it out. And, so far in our first 2 games, we've actually had a lead in our scrimmage game and in that first game. So that's a positive. But again, we got to finish this game's 4 quarters, and we got to be able to play all 4.
All right, coming up on Friday night, the home opener. A lot of enthusiasm. Is it a distraction?
Well, it's a good distraction, but there's no doubt about it. There's a lot of excitement in the school and the community, and certainly on the football team. But I'm trying to keep our players grounded. That our job on Friday night is we got to play the game. So we're really trying to focus. But I know it's going to be a big night for them, and I want them to enjoy it because I want them to remember it. But most importantly, we want to play with it.
All right, Temple's coming in here on Friday night. You know anything about them?
Well, I did get an opportunity to go watch them last week. I think they're very well coached. They won last week, so they're coming in here 1-1, and we certainly going to have to play well to win.
All right, your quarterback, Blake Brock, had a good ball game against in your opening ball game. Who else looked good for you?
Well, we feel like we've got a number of kids who are really progressing. Stevie Howard looked really good on defense. He had to step in and play some quarterback in that second half. Ryan Fitzgerald, senior, come out this year, I think is showing great promise as one of our slot backs. And up front, we got to continue to get our big guys that we have to really play well. So we're excited about the group as a whole. I think we got a great group of kids and they're very coachable. And like I said, we're excited and looking forward to Friday night.
All right, I know you're crazy busy this week, so we'll let you go. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you down here on Friday.
Appreciate it. I hope everybody's going to show up to the circle on Friday night.
All right, Chad Estes. Let's go back now when David and I will talk about Friday night's other action. All right, we'll talk about Social Circle in just a minute. David, first of all, let's go back and talk about some games from last week. The shocker had to be George Walton getting handled by Holy Innocents.
Yeah, that was a sight to behold. I mean, they've handled that team by 30, 20, and 30 points the past couple of years, and that team came in had scored 9 points all year through 2 games, and they came out, scored on the first play of the game, and it just went downhill from there. And George Walton I've never seen them get handled that well at home before. Normally that's only the 3rd game they've lost since they joined the GHSA. Normally they're really tough at home, and the game wasn't even as close as the score. I mean, they just got pummeled.
45-21 was that the final? Yeah.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, LCA was the winner last week over Unity by the same score, 45-21. Walnut Grove, big Monroe area, as you know, 22-18. And Covenant, a team that we try to keep up with as much as we can. They beat New Creation 21-20. And before we forget, if there are any CCA fans watching out there, we hope you are, the Covenant game for this Friday has been canceled. It was supposed to play at Cornerstone, and Cornerstone having a problem with numbers. So they had to cancel that, and that happens every once in a while in that league. So no Covenant game this week. All right, but there is a Walnut Grove game that's coming up on Thursday night.
Yeah, first Thursday night game. Interesting. They're going to go down to Griffin, where Spalding's a relatively new school up and down there in Spalding County. So them and Griffin have to share the same stadium. So Griffin has a home game Friday night. So Spalding got bumped back to, I guess it was either play Thursday or Saturday. So I guess they picked Thursday.
Yeah, I wouldn't go high school against college on Saturday.
No,
that messes with your gait somewhat.
Yeah,
all right, I haven't been to Griffin. I'll go down there on Thursday night to that Spalding game, but David and I were talking, and it's been a while since either one of us been down to that area. I was there in, I think, '79 when I was doing play-by-play for Clark Central. They won the state championship that year, and I think was Bohannon was the head coach at Griffin back then.
Yeah, actually, the last time, to show my age, the last time I was at Griffin, he was actually the quarterback there for his dad. He's, of course, at Kennesaw, starting the Kennesaw State program now.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's been there. But, yeah, this should be a good one. Walnut Grove, you know, shocking the world this year. They're 2-0 going in right now. And if you look down their schedule, I got to be honest with you, I don't see another loss in their next 5 games. I mean, I'm a believer now. You look down and see some of the teams they're facing up until they get to maybe, I don't know, East Side maybe towards the end, or Eagles Landing, I think it is. I mean, you go down there, I don't see another loss on their schedule right now. I think they could legitimately be 6-0, 7-0 heading into the home stretch of their season. So,
yeah, wouldn't that be something?
And which kind of ticks me off because, you know, every year I do my little predictions column, and I don't know if you recall originally, you know this, you can vouch for me here. I had them going 7-3, and I called you the night before it was published and said, I'm feeling a little antsy here. Bump that back to 6-4. Now maybe I should have stuck with my original. You know, always go with your first instinct.
All right, first road game, or were they at home first week? But they were in Monroe, so it's not the first road game. Going to take that 2-0 record on the road, and it's a different atmosphere over at Walnut Grove right now. Yeah,
they got to be feeling good about themselves, and they should. I mean, they you know, this is the 5th year in. They've kept a lot of kids in the program, and they really have a lot of talent there. It was just a matter of finding the right coach, who obviously Coach Reeves is. He's sold out to that program. He's a promoter. You know, he pumps people up. He's got the community excited. He's got the kids excited, and they're clearly heading in the right direction.
All right, speaking of heading in a direction, Monroe area is going to North Cobb on Friday night. And as I talked to Joey Solkowski after the game against Walnut Grove Friday night, he said, we're just not a very good football team right now. And they haven't looked like a good football team the first 2 games. Yeah,
well, they had, what, 6 turnovers against Walnut Grove? Yeah, that's the sign of a team that's really struggling. And I was surprised. I thought maybe the Loganville game, they were just kind of holding back, waiting for Region to roll out. Clearly, when you're having that kind of turnovers, 32 penalties in the game, and I know they shared that with Walnut Grove, but yeah, this is a program that's really, and you kind of figured they would. I mean, they lost 23 seniors. They lost their head coach. They were transitioning to a new coach, a new program, and all this kind of stuff. So, you know, you expected them to struggle. And so we'll see. And like I was saying about Walnut Grove, I don't see another loss on their schedule for the next 5 games. You look down Monroe's schedule, it's going to be hard for them to get a win in the next 5 games. You got this North Cobb team, which is 6A and has already beaten North Gwinnett. It's going to be this could be an ugly game for Monroe on the road. Then you've got Madison County the next week, who obviously is going to be looking for a little revenge after last year's ugly scene with the fight. Stevens County, North Oconee, and then of course they wrap it up with Buford, who nobody's going to beat. Yeah. So yeah, it's only going to get tougher from here on out, and so it's looking like it could be a long season for the Hurricanes.
I want to encourage you Monroe area fans not to give up on this program. As David said, we knew this was going to happen this year. How bad, we don't know yet, but it's a rebuilding year, so we hope you keep packing those stands on Friday night. Loganville's going to be at Heritage, homecoming from Mike Paris.
Yeah, I guess you could call it a homecoming. He was there just for a year, so he didn't really have a chance to put down some roots. But yeah, interesting situation anyway. You go in, your first league game is where you know, where you were last year. So I don't know what hard feelings, or if any at all, you know, or if it was a mutual thing. Didn't really like to talk about it. I don't blame him. But the main thing, and as Coach Paris told me, the main thing he wants the kids to focus on is the fact that the past 3 years, Heritage has basically kept them out of the playoffs. They've lost their past 4 to these guys, and this is a key game, because if you look down the schedule again with Loganville, the winner of this game is really going to have the inside track to probably that 4th spot in the playoffs. I mean, you got Gainesville and Flowery Branch that are probably pretty much locked on 1 and 2 somewhere. I always thought Lanier, that just moved into the league this year, was really going to surprise a lot of folks. So I think, you know, this could be a battle for that 4th spot. Even though it's the first game, it's really a critical game.
All right, George Walton's going to be in Athens to play Prince Avenue, or in Bogart, I guess it is. If there's a must-win this early in the year, this might be it for George Walton.
Yeah, they need to win. And it's the start of their region schedule, but of course in Class A that doesn't matter anymore. Region doesn't matter anymore, because you have the power ratings where all your games count, and then they total up the points at the end of the year, and the top 16 get in. So region's not really that big of a deal, but yeah, they definitely need a win. I can't see how it's going to happen. Frankly, this would be the shocker of the week if somehow George Walton pulled this off. They're just really, they don't have a lot of numbers this year. They don't have a lot of depth. They're very young, and this is a Prince Avenue program that has totally transformed itself in the past 3 or 4 years. They've got Jeff Herron over there, who I consider the best coach in the state of Georgia, frankly.
Me too.
And you know, they're loaded. He knows what he's doing. Last year, you know, George Walton went over there in the season finale and got beat 53-10 in a game that got called early because of an injury at the end of the game. And frankly, I just can't see it being a lot better this year.
All right, and we've talked about it with Coach Estes a few minutes ago. Social Circle finally gets to put that new stadium on display on Friday night. There's going to be a ton of people.
Yeah, and it's good. I saw some of the Redcoats are going to be there from the Redcoat band. Should be a great. I'm envious of you. You're going to go cover that one. That's going to be an exciting game to see the first game in their new palatial stadium. So that's going to be great. Again, you can't hide. They've got the longest losing streak in the state right now. But hopefully this is going to put them over the top. They played really well, I thought, in their season opener and looked really good. And let's just hope. Normally I don't cheer one way or the other. I mean, I hope the area teams win, but this one I could really get into and really cheer hard for the Redskins and hope they can snap that streak and open that new stadium on a happy note.
All right, that streak is going to end sometime. Might as well be this week.
Be a good time.
Loganville Christian's going to be against Unity, and I wrote down here that it was at home. I think that's a home game.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, and they'll start at 7:30 over at Loganville Christian. They got a nice facility over there too, as you Lions fans know. Well, again, no Covenant game this week, but lots of action. We'll cover that for you on Saturday morning, so pick up your copy of Sports Extra. David and I'll see you next time.